checking. You guys can see my screen. Everything's good. All right.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, so like mentioned in the chat, we're gonna get started in about 3 minutes. So I'll give everyone about 3-ish minutes to log in, and then we'll get started. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy to be sharing space with you on a Sunday, and it's a nice weather, so I'm happy. We're gonna get started. Um, so for those who don't know me, my name is Massiel Alfonso. I am a Dominican poet, writer, author, storyteller, educator, a little bit of everything. And I'm honored to be here with Dominican Writers, who is a nonprofit organization who was created to highlight our stories and really create space for us and create a community where we can support each other and create together. Dominican Writers and everyone that I've met through Dominican Writers is now like my family slash BFFs. Um, so thank you, Dominican Writers, also for giving people like me the opportunity to do things like this that we love and share it with others. So yeah, we're going to get started. Today's writing workshop is called Un Sancocho de Poesía, which is heavily inspired by Dominican culture, Dominican food, Dominican lifestyle. So if you are not Dominican, don't worry, the prompts will still relate to you, but I just want to let you know they are heavy inspired by where I'm from and where some of us may be from. And feel free to interpret the prompts however you would like. Let's say I give you a prompt, but you're not really sure how to answer that, or you can't relate to it, but there's like another story that you want to write about. Feel free to do that. You are not like mandated to answer any prompt. This is just time for us to write. That's my only challenge for you, is write throughout the entire time. Even if you're writing blah blah, I don't know, just keep on writing until the time is up and have fun. That's all we're here to do. Just explore our creativity and have fun. And with that being said, I'm going to go right into the introductions. So if you would like to unmute yourself, just put the little hand up emoji, or you can type in the chat. But feel free to introduce yourself with your name and the answer to the following question, which is, would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life? And this question was super hard for me because I'm like, kid, I would definitely want to be a kid. But then I'm like, wait, can I still do adult stuff if I'm a kid? But yeah, so feel free to raise your hand, introduce yourself, and answer to the following question. Lily, I see your hands up, girl.
Mika, hi. My name is Lilian. You call me Lily. Um, Such an interesting question, right? I would rather be a child. I feel like you can take that in any term, right? It's like not physically maybe be a child, but always be your inner child would be my thing. Yeah, that's it. Bye.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But then, you know, like my overthinking self was just like, but wait, if you have a brain of a child, are you going to think like a child for every decision? So, you know.
I read a wonderful line, right? That says your subconscious is actually your inner child.
That makes a lot of sense then.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me. Thank you, Lillian.
You're welcome.
Anyone else would like to share your name? I see some people writing in the chat. Let me see.
I'll go.
Yes, please.
My name is Sabelle, and this is hard. My instinct is to say an adult because I didn't have the best childhood. But if I could be a child with a different childhood, then I would probably pick that because no bills, no worries, being carefree. But I definitely prefer who I have become as a woman in my adulthood now, even though it's tough. Like, I don't think I would trade, the hand I was dealt for anything else. So this is definitely a hard one. I don't know.
Yeah, it really gets you thinking because you don't really, like as a kid, you idolize being an adult, right? Or at least I did. Like I was just so ready to be an adult because
Yeah.
everything just looks so much cooler when you're an adult, and then you're an adult and you're like, I want to be a kid. So it's a thin line, you know. But thank you for sharing. I see Idalmi wrote her name in the chat. Idalmi, would you like to I see now you wrote adult. feel free to type in why you would like to be an adult your whole life.
I chose an adult because I just think I have more freedom, and
Okay.
I can protect myself better.
Mm. Mm. That's right. That got a little deep for me because you could protect yourself. There's so many levels to that answer, but thank you, Danny, for sharing that. Jasmine.
Good morning, everyone. I know I came in a couple minutes late.
Good morning.
I think I'm pretty comfortable with who I am today. I don't think I want to revert back to my childhood, although I had a really good one. I had, despite my parents' divorce, which really was the catalyst to turn everything around, but it happened when I was around 14. So I think that age as well is an age of like huge transformative. I want to say, but I had my mother just passed away, so I have to say I had wonderful parents, and my dad's still alive. Um,
So would you choose? Oh,
despite their own shortcomings, they try to give us everything, or make it feel like we still had our childhood and can do kid things. I never felt pressure to be an adult. However, I was forced because of my parents' circumstances to do adult chores or adult
mm.
things.
I think that happens a lot too.
And that had to do with their immigration.
Yep, I was just
And
gonna say that.
also, right. And I think a lot of us are pulled into it because we kind of have to be the
Yeah.
translator.
Yep.
And we have to fill out their adult forms because they're not able to with their proficiency level at that time.
That's
Good
right.
thing, good thing about my parents, I don't know about anyone else, but my parents are very proactive in ameliorating that. And they were very smart. They are and were smart people um, for doing that. And I think that has to do, especially for those of us who are Dominican and come from a middle class or upper class background, which I do. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that makes also a difference with the education level and the fact that my parents were knowledge of the fact that childhood is important, and to be a child at our age is important. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I witness boundaries between adults and children in my house. I don't know about anyone, but like for us, and I think a lot of it has to do with social class. We were never taught to be in the same room with when adults were conversing, and also, different mannerisms. And I think a lot of it has to do with my parents' upbringing and their social class in the island.
I'm sorry. So is it safe to say that you would say you would rather be an adult your whole life? Yeah. Was that a yes? Sorry, I think it was muted.
Good question. I don't think I want to be an adult my entire life, but I don't think I want to be a child in my entire life.
So we're like an in-between, like me.
I think I'm an in-between. Because as
Okay.
a child, I was able to enjoy a lot of child things. And I was also able to do things that other teenagers weren't able to do
All
because
right.
of the type of parents I had. But I love my adulthood right now. I love the things that I'm doing right now. And I don't want to go back to 15-year-old Jasmine.
All right. Thank you, Jasmine. I'm just going to move on just for sake of time, but I really
Sure.
do resonate with a lot of things that you say. And when I bumped into this question, I was kind of in the middle, just like you, where I'm like, there's certain instances or moments in my life that I remember that I'm like, ooh, I wish I would have had the knowledge that I have now as an adult. But then again, I think I'm just naturally drawn to being in my childhood phase and mentality. And I think with creativity, that's a lot of where I pull from, right? I'm like, okay, what did I want to do when I was a kid that I didn't get to do? Or I would be more like, let's explore this because I didn't get to explore this as a kid, right? So thank you to everyone for sharing. For those who just came in, we're just introducing ourselves. State your name and the answer to the following question. Please feel free to write it in the chat. And we're going to hop right into the first prompt because we do have a couple, and I want us to really enjoy each writing workshop. So the way usually our writing workshops work is I will give us the writing prompts, and then we will all take some time at the end to share or to make any comments that you would like. For these next prompts, we're going to get 4 minutes to answer each prompt, okay? And of course, if you have any questions or you need me to repeat myself or you can't see anything, please let me know. All right, so let's jump right into prompt number 1. This prompt was actually inspired by a poem that I wrote called I Am So Dominican. And I was just like reminiscing on all the things that like make us like so Dominican, that like it's like a universal thing, like a lot of people can relate to it. And yeah, I just started like pointing out these random things and just listing them out, like, oh, this is something we do, this is something we do that I find in common in a lot of me or my friends. And yeah, that poem was birthed. So with that being said, I would like for you to write a poem that begins with I am so blank, the country you are from, and give us some of the staples. So for example, like I mentioned, my name is Massiel Alfonso, and I am Dominican. So my example would be, I am so Dominican, mango is my breakfast and dinner. And for those of you who don't know, it's just a famous dish in Dominican Republic, which is mashed plantains with like cheese, eggs, onions. Honestly, you could put whatever you want on top of that thing. Like I've seen a crazy mix of longanizas in there too. But yeah, so we have 4 minutes to answer the first prompt. I am so, and the country you are from. Try to give us the staples. All right, and your time starts now. Happy writing. Have about 30 seconds. All right, finish writing that last line. And do we need more time, or was 4 minutes okay? Should we add 1 more minute? You guys let me know. I'm totally fine with adding some more time to our prompts. I see Jasmine's still writing, so I'm gonna give her some time. All right, so for prompt number 2, like I mentioned in the beginning, these writing prompts and this entire workshop was heavily inspired by Dominican culture. And I wanted to also take the opportunity to highlight some of the major issues that are going on in this country, but also introduce it in a way that we can still make something beautiful out of it, like a story. So with that being said, would anyone like to read prompt number 2?
I got you, girl.
Go ahead. Thanks, Abel.
Prompt number 2 is electricity and water supply is still an issue with many provinces and regions. It is estimated that 88% of the country has complete electricity coverage, while only 56% of poor households have a decent water connection. Create a story with this home. Who lives there and what do they do for a living?
Thank you. So yeah, my memories in the Dominican Republic with like the electricity leaving and the poor water supply, for me, like as a kid, I didn't really think about it like this, but now as I read the facts, like 88% of the country has electricity, but only 56% has water connection. Like as a kid, I'm just like, okay, showering in the backyard, this is mad cool. We don't do this in the United States. Um, but just think of these people where this is like their only option. You know what I mean? This is not like, oh, okay, this is so much fun showering in the backyard or whatever it is, right? So with that being said, I would like for you to write a story of who lives in this house. Is it a family? Is it one person? Think about what do they do for a living, maybe what struggles they may have or obstacles they may need to overcome. And I want you to write it as if you were in their shoes, right? With this information that you know. Doesn't specifically have to be this house, but feel free to take us there on this journey. And Jasmine says she's drafting a novel about this. Ooh, secondary characters live in a house like this. Okay, I like this. Explore that, Jasmine. This might be your sign. All right, so
I've been
because
exploring that for years right now. So I'll let everybody else discuss.
and I think you have the perfect background too. It's like your background is taking me down memory lane. Um, but I'll give us 5 minutes since I saw in the last prompt some of us were still writing or asked for more time, which is totally fine. I'm here for you guys. So if you need more time or less time, just let me know. But 5 minutes for this prompt starting now. have a little over a minute. And time. How was that? I hope that was good. I hope you connected with this person living in this home. I have a little casita that looked like this in my neighborhood. So, and with that being said, let's jump right into prompt number 3. Anyone would like to read prompt number 3? Don't be shy, guys. We're in community. All right, I'll read it. Prompt number 3. The colmado in the Dominican Republic is usually a community small convenience store. These are packed with everything from drinks, beers, household cleaners, and food. Folks gather here for the town's latest news, deaths, and infidelities. The colmado is basically an all-in-one. You can stop by to get what you need and a little more. Develop a scene with the owner of this shop. What is he discussing now based on this image? And a prompt starter can be like, primo deme un, or primo tienen. So primo is another way of us just connecting with our people. It's kind of like what you say to someone that you don't know their name, or if you're very familiar, you usually say that. But the prompt starter is, can I have or do you have a? And then tell us where that conversation goes. 5 minutes on the clock, and our writing starts now. Finish writing that last sentence. All right. You know what? Like, I sometimes write to the prompts with you guys, and I just realized in this picture that they have a bunch of chancletas hanging from the top. Like, not only is this a convenience store, but it's also a shoe store, and you can get your outfits. um, for this next prompt, um, this is a piece from the book Para cenar habrá nostalgia, by Fior y Plasencia. I really, really, really enjoy going back to the pieces and poems in this book. She's actually published with Dominican writers. And she's a Dominican poet and author. Are you guys able to see the poem? Is it big enough or for someone to read, or should I read it from the book? Can you guys see?
I can see it. But like I'm using my phone so I could stretch it out. But it's probably best for you to read it from the book,
I got
from
you.
my perspective.
I got you. Thank you. All right. So this poem is called Cita del Consulado. And then I'll do a little translation after, but this is basically the visit to the consultant when you are trying to get your visa. Carry proof of address, work, education, bank account, family last name, and existence. Bring a photo, 4x4, money for the affidavit, acta de nacimiento, acta de bautizo, acta de matrimonio, and a rich pocket. El compadre will tell you, borrow some black pantalones and ironed shirt. Put on perfume that can be smelled from 10 kilometers. Bring a gold chain and a reloj que funcione. Eat pan and avena on your way there before the sun is born. Take more pesos and put it under your sock. Memorize all the answers to the preguntas. Pray to la Virgen María in the autopista. Presínate 5 veces when they call you through the speaker. Don't even wink. Don't even breathe. Pretend you are made of cement. A stamp in the consulado will be waiting at an old empty desk, like it was at the top of a volcano, full of lava. And you are the pueblos nearby, hoping to not get burned. Proceda con cuidado. Calm down. If you fail, try again. Again, again, otra vez. So this piece is basically kind of like a how-to poem, an instructional poem of things to take with you and things to do. So a lot of these things that were mentioned in this poem kind of really bring joy. Like when I read them the first time when I read this piece, I was smiling because like the pesos in your socks, like putting money in your socks for good luck. That's really a thing. Like people really, really do that, or like wearing your underwear inside out. Those are things that people do. Or I don't know, I've heard this a lot with like baseball players, or like they do a specific ritual, or they wear a certain necklace or certain pair of socks or something like that for good luck. So for this poem, these 2 writing prompts were inspired. So you can feel free to answer either or of these writing prompts. So write a story, a poem, or a memoir as if you were at your consulate appointment. Write your experience at the interview. What questions are they asking? Who are you? Or tell the story behind your or someone else's 4x4 passport picture. So you are free to explore both, one, however you would like. And we will have 5 minutes for this prompt, and your writing starts now. How about 30 seconds left? And time. So I want to do a little check-in. How are we doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Writing some stories. All right, I got one thumbs up. Okay, so estamos aquí. Okay, so the next prompt, I would like for you to write a story inspired by one of these images. So what are they doing to survive? How is it similar to your story or someone you know? And again, we are exploring not only Dominican culture, but also putting ourselves in different shoes and writing stories from those people's perspectives. So feel free to give these images, the people in these images, a name, a home, give us some background story. Where are they going? These two kids on the bike, like one is holding a guitar. So what do they do? Are they related? Are they friends? Try to explore these two images in as much detail. You are free to pick to write about both or write about one. That's up to you to decide. But we'll also have 5 minutes for this prompt. And you can start writing now. in time. So I want to point out that Jasmine wrote something really interesting in the chat when she asked, what do you mean about surviving versus living? Um, so if you see these images as part of life and not surviving, that's great too, you know? Again, these are here for you to interpret them as you would like to be interpreted. Do not feel like you are obligated to write um, about the specific prompt or like you have to answer it in the way that I wrote it. Um, but I also just wrote survival because I think that's what most of the time that is what we're doing. You know, we're not really like living. And it would be very interesting to explore these images as someone who is living and not surviving. But yes, I purposely made it in that way so that we can kind of place ourselves in those shoes. If you haven't experienced what that is, what would that feel like that you need to sell fruits to survive? Or what would that feel like that you may need to play an instrument or take on this long journey to get to school? Or, you know, it's just to explore different perspectives. But yes, you are free to interpret any prompts, questions as you would like to answer it. So don't ever feel like, oh, I have to write it like this. No, these are just prompts to guide us and kind of just get us thinking. But whatever story you are compelled to write, in whichever perspective you are compelled to write it, write that. That's what I want to promote, you know. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up because it's true. I didn't think of it in that way. But yeah, so we have about 3 more prompts. I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am. Um, and this next prompt I like to call Llévame allí. So feel free to interpret this image as you would like, but the prompt is take me there. Where is there? Where are they going? What struggles are they carrying with them? Obstacles, stories, or now, if you would like to view it from another perspective, because Jasmine did make a good point. Are they a family? Are they going away? Are they moving? Are they on vacation? Are they how are they living? Let's change it to that question. How are they living? Feel free to write your story inspired by this image, or you can focus on one person in this image and tell that story as well. All right, so 5 minutes on the clock. Does anyone have any questions? Are we good? Feel free to type in the chat or raise your hand, anything like that. And our time starts now. You have a little over a minute. And time. All right. So we are at our last prompt. And we have been exploring writing other people's stories, right? Or writing from other people's perspective. So, of course, I would like to end this writing workshop with your story. So, this prompt is called Equipaje por dentro, so the luggage within me. I would like for you to either take us on your journey, tell us your story, who you are, what sacrifices have you or your family done to get you here? What obstacles crossed your path? Did you overcome them? How? Obviously, we won't have time to write every single part of our story in 5 minutes, but focus on one part of you that you would like to explore and write about that. Or I would like for you to think of a time you had to change yourself, either your appearance or your character, personality. What did you have to do to fit in? What did you need to learn to fit in? Did it work? Um, Feel free to explore both or one of these prompts, um, and just try to write in as much detail as possible. You are also welcome to write a whole different story. Maybe you would like to explore what um, other story, another life, whatever you are drawn to write. Remember, you can write about that. Don't feel like you have to write about these two prompts, but feel free to explore and shine a little light on your story because we all have very powerful ones. Um, and for this prompt, we'll have 5 minutes, and then we'll open the floor to sharing if you would like. So yeah, your 5 minutes starts now. Have about a minute and a half left. All right. If you're still writing, feel free to do that. Um, Now we're going on to my favorite part of the entire workshop. The sharing part. So yeah, if you would like to share to any of the prompts that you wrote to today, if you would just like to say a comment, or if you feel more open to writing in the chat and then I'll read it, that's totally fine. But this is my favorite part of the entire workshop, where we get to share our stories or a little glimpse. Feel free, because of time, because we do have 15 minutes and I want to respect everyone's time. If you share something of a longer piece, just share like maybe 2 to 3 lines. And that way we can give space to someone else if they would like to share. Don't feel pressured to share, but I also want to say we are in community and what we discuss here stays here. So feel free to share if you would like. Yeah, the floor is yours. If you would like to share, please just raise your hand or type it in the chat so that I know you would like to say something. But yeah, I'm opening the floor to you guys. Would anyone like to share? Lillian. Yes.
Ay, Dios. I am going to, well, the workshop was lovely. I really enjoyed writing, definitely revisiting some of those prompts later on. They were not finished. I'm gonna share on the last piece.
Okay.
Lillian, mujer en cuerpo, pero niño risueño, inmadura sin experiencia de vida. Llegas al Bronx in 1997, Lauren Place. Whoa, what a difference it seemed. Like a dream, I was living a chapter of my life with no boundaries. How sad, all the poor choices I made, not being able to understand what I was really doing, the lasting effects of these poor choices. People used me, my heart broken, my skin torched with ignorance. How becoming a tool to be used started that summer, not knowing how to say no, people pleasing at its finest. Started with a Levi from the South. That's it. Ay, ay, ay.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I like how you started that. It's kind of like you talking to you. Yeah, that was beautiful. I was like waiting for you to say more.
Thank you.
Go back and definitely write those stories. Sometimes that's what we need. Like we need to just start it and then take a little break and then we go back and it becomes something bigger than what we planned, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lillian, for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share? Anyone, I want to make sure if you do want to share, I give you that space. If you don't want to share or you are still working on your piece, that's totally fine. But before I wrap this up, I want to make sure no one else wants to say anything. Oh, Jasmine, I see you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The first prompt, the one that said "So Dominican." So to write about a poem that begins with "I'm so." So this is what I got so far. You know, because we only had a couple minutes. So I'm so Dominican with spaghetti, salami, plantains, and cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am so New Yorker with my bagels and lox, knishes, and subway log and rolling my eyes. I am so eldest daughter with my pushy, bossy self always calling over your cell. Little brothers, little sister, I am so in love. I am so bougie auntie vibes with my fur coats, Sunday brunches, designer bags, global travel, and no care for rules. And no regulations, factuations. I just got up to that.
No, I loved it. And I loved it that you gave it like this spin of like, you are from all these places, right? Like you didn't just stick to one thing. That was beautiful and totally relate to the rich bougie auntie because, you know, I'm the spoiled auntie that like my nieces and nephews, you know, they would just want to be with all the time. So yeah, I get that. Thank you for sharing. I love that spin that you did to it. You gave a little bit of everything. That was really creative. That was
Thank
really
you.
creative.
So I mean that was my specialty when I got my MFA was poetry. So in this one, I try to say, well, I think I can use a lot of elements of repetition. And I didn't think I wanted to use like a particular form because of the
Mm-hmm.
time constraint.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, I'll go back to it and I'll expand on it, and I can definitely see this as a pantun or not so much of a Linnell because it's not romantic, but
Yeah.
I can kind of I think I can kind of maybe continue expanding on it,
Yeah, definitely. I definitely
testing
think.
out the form.
Yeah. And then just keep giving those staples because like every little line that you switched it up, it was something that is like, oh yeah, we do that, right? That was really good. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to share? If not, then we can end a little early. Enjoy the rest of our Sunday. It's beautiful outside. And let me check the chat to make sure. Okay. All right. George, would you like to share?
Yes,
Okay, awesome. Hi, welcome.
thank you. I wrote something about the kids, you know, that's a number 4 from number 4, number 3. Anyway, it's I will read in Spanish.
That's fine.
Okay. Because when I saw those kids, I remember when the kids in my country, in Colombia, they are going, the small city kids, they are going to the farmers nearby and look for food. So, plátanos, yuca, naranjas. Then So, let me read this. Busco mis botas pantaneras, madrugo como los gallos, no a cantar, a coger el bus escalera. Hay muchas sillas libres, no puedo usar ninguna. No tengo dinero para pagar el pasaje. No te sientes ahí, dice el ayudante. 40 minutos de pie, casi vomito por el viaje. Llego a esa finca verde, casi a explotar por todo lo que el propietario cultiva. Hola, mijo. Me saluda con cariño, como el padre que no tuve. Arranca las yucas, corta los gajos de plátano que necesites, llévate las naranjas, las guayabas que quieras. Hay arracachas y zanahorias. Miro mi costal, está a medio llenar. No puedo alzarlo, está muy pesado. A mis 10 años de edad no tengo suficiente fuerza. Mijo, yo lo arrimo a la fonda en la yegua. Llegamos a la fonda. Espero el bus escalera para mi viaje de regreso. Y ahí quedé.
¡Bravo! Hiciste un estupendo trabajo llevándome contigo. Yo vi todo, sentí todo, huelí todo. Thank you for writing that. That was so beautiful. Y también me acuerda también a los niños que yo vea de mi barrio cuando yo duré poco tiempo viviendo en la República Dominicana, pero me fascinó cómo le diste una historia a ese niño y lo hiciste tan bello. Y una historia que también podemos ver que pasa en realidad, ¿verdad? Hay niños
Sí.
que tienen que ir a, like, wow, like the journeys that I see people take to get to work or like to just go somewhere, right? Mi mamá me lo decía muchas veces, like, yo cruzaba 3 ríos y tenía que coger 3 guaguas para llegar a la escuela. And it's like, what? Like, why? So, Jorge, I think this is your first time, but at least the first time that I've seen you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for writing that. That was so beautiful. I was smiling, seeing other people smiling because you wrote that so beautifully. So muchísimas gracias por escribir eso. Y espero verte más porque esa historia es tan muy bella.
I enjoyed the workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. And te están enseñando un poco de amor en el chat. So thank you so much. Would anyone else like to share? Want to make sure we make space for those that would like to share if they want to. No? All right. Well, we're right on time anyways, but I want to thank you again. My name is Massiel Alfonso. Soy un poco de todo, un sancochito, like I said. Soy poeta, autora, escritora, workshop facilitator. Me pueden encontrar aquí. Aquí está mi correo también, my Instagram, mas_si_el. Mi página de web, donde pueden encontrar mi libro de poesías llamado Handful of Poems. And yes, espero verlos pronto. Vamos a estar aquí. Dominican Writers tiene este writing workshop every Sunday at 11 a.m. for the most part, unless it's like Mother's Day or something. But yeah, so thank you for spending your Sunday with me. Thank you for showing up and for writing. I hope that you have some starters of some stories or poems that you want to keep writing, because that's what we're here for. And yeah, please keep writing, staying creative, showing up for yourselves. It was an honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys. And yeah, reach out to me if you need anything, if you have any questions, if you want to like just share poems and exchange, we could be pen pals. That's cool too. But yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday y nos vemos pronto. Bye.